yo, DLZ, Alva, man, we're not going to waste too much of your time. WrestleMania predictions. You all know why we're here. Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins. We'll get started with that.
Sure.
Good fucking build so far.
Good build, yeah. And I find myself rooting for Randy Orton. I wouldn't usually, but I want to see the guy get something. He hasn't done anything all year. I think now's the time.
It makes sense. He's been a heel since forever. He's been out since, November, I think? Was
something like
injury,
that, yeah.
filming one of the WWE studio movies.
But I look for Seth Rollins to have a really good quality match because he usually does.
Yeah. Tyler Black, I've been a fan of his for years, ever since his Ring of Honor days, and I'm excited to see what he does. But
one of my favorite matches in recent years, him and, I forget the other guy's name, Davey, the American Wolf.
Davey Richards?
Yeah, Davey Richards. Okay, anyway, next match.
All right, who's your prediction, though?
Oh, Randy.
I'm going with Randy. All right, AJ Lee and Paige versus the Bellas. Typical diva match that
I hope
nobody
AJ
cares
Lee,
about.
Well, no, but, you do get to see AJ Lee and Paige's ass, so that's good. I mean, not entirely, unless, of course, they want to do that, and Braun and Panties matches are always good. But
we're going to be a little bit off topic because we're going to go off on a certain Kevin Dunn and the camera.
Yeah, and with that shit, stop that shit. Every time somebody hits a finisher, he zooms in, zooms out, zooms in, zooms out. Stop that shit.
Unless it's zooming in and out on the chick's ass.
Yeah,
well, if you want to zoom in on any one of the chicks' asses, that's fine. But don't go in and out, in and out. That's annoying.
I'm going to go ahead and pick the Bella Twins just because,
They likely will, and I agree with that. I'd rather see the other two win, but I'll say the Bella Twins as well.
John Cena versus Rusev for the United States title. This is predictable as fuck. You all know what the build is. It's designed to get John Cena over as the super I am a real American fucking 2.0. We
if they're going to do that, why don't they
this.
just bring Hulk Hogan back? No,
Yeah.
I want to see Rusev win this just because sometimes the bad guy has to win.
Yeah, and the next night they could always bring out a new NXT guy and build him up and make him something special.
Exactly,
For fuck's sake, but
turn John Cena heel, just have somebody come out and be like, oh, dude, sorry, Austin, have just John Cena just go off on him,
But of course, we all know that that's not going to happen. Though I will say it is time for a gimmick change from John Cena. It's been fucking time.
And
Let's keep it real.
Absolutely.
But I'm going with John Cena just because this is what they're going to do. You already know it.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with that. And unfortunately, I'm going to say Cena as well.
The pre-show match is not on the notes here, but the pre-show match is a tag title match. Why?
Yeah, why are the tag titles not on the card? Look, Vince. UFC, they never put a title match on the pre-card, okay? That's because people want to actually see the title match on the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, very fucking talented.
They are, and they make a hell of a tag team, too.
The Usos, great team, very fucking talented. The Matadores, change them, please.
Good team, bad gimmick.
Not working. They got to get rid of El Torito. I'm sorry, he was cool for a minute, but...
The gimmick is very 1995. Let's don't relive that.
Yeah, we're not in that time anymore. I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what, in the pre-show, Tyson Kidd and Cesaro need to be retained. Just because...
I think that makes sense. I don't see any reason. Unless you're going to put it on the card, there's no reason for a title change.
All right, and then the Intercontinental title match, Bad News Barrett versus R-Truth versus D. Fucking Ambrose versus Luke Harper versus Dolph Ziggler versus Stardust versus Daniel Bryan.
Yes.
I know you had a little rant on the internet, Marks, and you can go ahead and take it.
Yeah. I think that Daniel Bryan ought to win this match just to shut up those internet so-called smart marks who are really... But I like Daniel Bryan as much as anybody else. And
I will admit he got fucked over, and this is a bad situation.
He kind of did, but he got hurt, and there wasn't really a lot anybody could do about that.
Plus, I hate to say it, I've said it in the previous video, Daniel Bryan will never make a long-term WWE champion. If you guys notice, there are better guys that are better at chasing the WWE title than actually holding the WWE title.
Daniel Bryan is one of those guys.
Daniel Bryan is a better chaser. He'll get his moments here and there, but he's not going to be that long-term guy.
Yeah, and I've heard people compare him to Shawn Michaels, and yeah, I see that. The difference is that Shawn Michaels was good at being the champion long-term.
Yep. Okay, so what's your prediction? I'm going to go ahead and say Daniel Bryan wins just to give the internet fans something to be happy about.
Well,
it's going to be a spot fest, no doubt about it.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Dean fucking Ambrose will not win this match, unfortunately. I'm going to say Daniel Bryan too, not unfortunately. I like Daniel Bryan.
But the one thing we can both agree on, Dean Ambrose will be the star of this match because he's
most
fucking
likely
crazy.
He is nuts, and yeah.
the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, a.k.a. the Mid-Card Battle Royal, which I don't even want to go over who the fuck is in the match.
Woo, woo, woo. You know it.
Vince, if he wins...
Let him win. Come on. I love it. Actually, I'm picking the Big Show in this one.
I will find you. And I'm going to find you.
Hey, easy. Whoa.
And it's all going to be over.
He gets this way when we talk about Zack Ryder. Woo.
Don't ever do that
You
again.
know it. Anyway,
All right.
I'm picking the Big Show in this one.
Just
Just because he's got to win one eventually.
Mizdow.
The big giant guy. Otherwise, Mizdow's a good choice.
Mizdow's the guy, because they've been building up Miz versus the Mizdow for a long fucking
And
time.
that'd be a cool way to end that match off.
Yep. All right, we're going to talk about Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt, probably second to last, but Sting versus Triple H.
Woo!
The thing that cracks me up, Triple H talking about, I can't even say it with a straight face.
I crushed WCW. Really? No. Look, the guys who did all the work were Stone Cold and The Rock, clearly. And, to a lesser extent, Undertaker and Mick Foley.
And Kane.
And Kane, I'll give Kane credit where credit is due.
I'm sorry, Triple H,
not
but
you.
I'm sorry, Triple H. I hate to have to tell you, but you were never the number one guy.
Through most of that, you were a mid-card guy, Hunter. You're my boy, but you were a mid-card guy.
Sting needs to fucking win, and Triple H, you better do the right goddamn thing and put Sting over.
Oh, he will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In Triple H, we trust.
We better, because goddammit, there have been instances that he did the wrong thing, like WrestleMania 19. Thank you.
But I know this is going to surprise you. I'm not picking Triple H in this one. I'm picking Sting.
So am I. Okay. Because the reason why we're going to talk about Sting and Triple H and The Undertaker and Bray Wyatt is to lead to next year, which we didn't cover that, but we will
Right,
now.
we'll get that here.
Momentarily. Okay.
Do we want to get the
main event?
What do we want to talk about, Taker and Bray, or the main event next?
We can talk about the main event.
Okay, main event.
This is a lose-lose situation, honestly, when you look at it. I mean,
I disagree, but...
No, I mean, to a certain extent, because it's kind of like, okay, I like Roman, I like his work, and I want to see him be the champion. What I don't agree with, though, is that they didn't do the old-school build with Roman. They didn't put a mid-card title on him and give him a 6 to 7 month reign with the Intercontinental U.S. title to let us know that he was coming. Granted, he got hurt. I can understand that. But, there's another side. Lesnar's leaving. So,
Jane, you ignorant slut.
Okay.
Counterpoint. Brock Lesnar's leaving anyway.
Yep.
Roman Reigns should win the title, but you think about it. 10 years ago,
John Cena did it.
John Cena won the title, and I thought he was a little green to be winning the title, although, yes, he had been the U.S. champion for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of thought it was a little soon for him to win the title. I agree for Roman Reigns, but I think he needs to.
Yeah.
Because if Brock's going to leave anyway, he's the guy to do it.
But here's another thing that we didn't mention. Seth motherfucking Rollins. There's not a fucking Lucky Charm or a gold nugget in that goddamn briefcase. There is a contract that you can use.
Wait, there's Lucky Charms in there?
No, there's not Lucky Charms.
Damn.
But there's not Lucky Charms in there. There's not a gold nugget. There's a briefcase. And in that
chicken
briefcase,
nuggets?
no.
Oh, okay.
In that fucking briefcase, there's a contract where you can cash in a WWE title match for any time.
This is true.
Use that, sumbitch. I don't care who wins.
Used to be you had to cash it in by Mania. I don't know when that changed. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think he should cash in. Whether he wins or not doesn't matter. He should cash in.
Because here's my idea. What if they did a triple threat match between all three of the Shield guys? That's actually something
That would be a pretty cool match, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then you got to factor in Heyman, and are they going to do a double turn? I mean, all
Well,
that kind of stuff.
I think if they are, you do it WCW style. Yeah, it's going to be a little convoluted, but here's what you do, right? First, Lesnar turns around, he decks Heyman, right? Then Lesnar gets Reigns down. Heyman turns on Lesnar,
Okay.
and then Roman Reigns just starts going off on Lesnar with weapons and anything and everything, and just beat the crap out of him, pin him 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, they could do that. It could be.
And then he becomes, that's the beginning of the heel turn for
Yeah.
Roman Reigns. But that's my thinking. It's a little convoluted.
It could work. I mean, you never know.
I
But-
know Vince Russo sitting at home going, that's not a bad idea.
Ultimately, what I'm going to go ahead and say, and speaking of which, once again, you keep doing that in and out, in and out, in and out shit, Kevin Dunn. We're looking at you.
Find you little Bucky Beaver punk.
Stop that shit. But I'm going to go ahead and say Roman Reigns wins the title because Brock is leaving, but ultimately Seth Rollins walks out as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Well, I'm going to say Roman Reigns leaves, but Rollins should cash in, though. And if he does, then Rollins will most likely leave with it.
Okay, now the match with the double-edged sword to it as well. Undertaker, Bray Wyatt. I mean, Bray Wyatt wins. Undertaker loses twice. And the thing is, it's not going to have that same feeling of, oh my God, Taker lost. Like last year, Vince, which...
I still have not forgiven Brock for last year.
No, Brock I can understand. It's Vince is the one that made that decision. So, Vince, we're looking at you, motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, I've said it a few times. If anybody should have beaten Taker, it should have been Shawn Michaels. But if you were going to wait, maybe Bray Wyatt was the guy to do it this year just to push up his thing that much further.
Yep. Because Bray Wyatt, because honestly, let's look at it. Bray Wyatt needs this win more than Undertaker. Let's be real.
True. But I think one thing you could do is you have Taker win, and then you can spend a few months of Bray Wyatt calling out the Undertaker
again for
and just
SummerSlam.
being crazy, weird ass Bray Wyatt like he is, and just build this thing and maybe bring it back at SummerSlam and have Bray Wyatt take out the Undertaker, and in just big fashion.
But here's the thing that we forgot to mention: Sting. Where the fuck does he play in? Because that's what we also got to talk about.
Yes. See,
but let's make a prediction first for this one. I'm going to say Bray Wyatt needs this, and he has to win more than Taker does.
I'm saying Taker's winning because, number one, he lost last year. You don't really want him to lose again because it doesn't really give Bray Wyatt that much more credibility beating Taker at WrestleMania now.
Yeah.
But so also, if Taker wins the match at Mania this year, going into next year against Sting, it gives it that much more oomph to it.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say Bray. He's picking Taker. As far as Sting Taker next year, if Sting stays, it has to happen.
Yeah.
There's no if, and, or buts. It has to happen.
So overall for this Mania, we're not real excited.
No.
But you know what? It's still not going to be as bad as WrestleMania 11, 10 years ago, by the way.
20. You fucked up. 20.
Oh, you're right. Damn, 20 years ago. Well, that was fucking wonderful.
Let him rant on, folks.
Really? Lawrence Taylor in the main event? Yes. Why? I still don't understand that decision.
I know.
I mean, Mr. T was kind of, sort of, almost a wrestler, sort of.
30 years ago, that WrestleMania happened almost. It was a good one, too, the very first one.
Yeah.